Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're going deep on creatine.
Ooh, creatine.
Yeah, you know it as that supplement you see at the gym.
Right.
But the research you sent over,
Yeah.
it really suggests that there's a lot more to creatine than just muscle growth.
Yeah, it's really fascinating, actually.
So get ready
Yeah.
to have your mind blown because we're about to uncover some benefits of creatine that go way beyond just, building those big muscles.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so maybe we could start with like the basics.
Sure.
What exactly is creatine?
Okay, so creatine is a naturally occurring compound,
Okay.
and it's found in our muscles and brains.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah, and it plays a really, really crucial role in producing something called ATP.
ATP.
Yes, ATP, and that's basically the primary energy currency of our cells.
So like ATP is how our body uses energy for like every process.
Yeah, basically it powers every single thing that requires energy in our body.
Wow. So it's kind of a big deal.
It's a very big deal. Okay, so then where does creatine fit into this whole ATP picture?
So creatine helps replenish ATP, especially during those short bursts of intense activity.
Okay,
Think like lifting weights or sprinting.
gotcha.
Yeah, acts like a reserve tank,
Okay.
allowing your muscles to sustain that high intensity effort for longer.
So it's like having extra fuel for your car.
Exactly. A perfect analogy.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Oh, yeah.
One thing that I was reading in the research that kind of surprised me was
Yeah.
that even if you eat a diet that's high in meat, which is a natural source of creatine,
Yeah,
supplementing can still have like a really big impact on performance.
it can.
I was wondering if you could kind of break down like the why behind that.
Of course. Yeah. So the key here is something called creatine saturation.
Okay.
While we get some creatine from our diet, we produce it naturally.
Right.
Supplementation helps to max out that concentration of creatine in our muscles.
So it's like we're trying to hit 100%.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
That's what leads to like those noticeable improvements in strength, power output, and endurance,
Got it.
particularly for people who are, weight training regularly.
So like if you're not weight training,
Right.
maybe not as important.
It might not be as noticeable.
Yeah. Okay, so it's like pushing past what you could get from diet alone.
Exactly. Take it to the next level.
Okay, cool. And speaking of diet, the research you sent also mentioned that creatine
Yes.
can be super beneficial for people who follow like low-carb diets,
Absolutely.
like keto or carnivore.
Hmm.
What makes it so important in those contexts?
That's a great question. And it's a really important point. When you restrict carbs significantly, like on those diets, your brain has to adapt to using ketones, which come from fat as its main fuel source.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And during this transition, some people, experience mental fatigue
Right.
or what a lot of people call brain fog.
Yeah.
But creatine has been shown to actually counteract this.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. Is that because it's like an alternative fuel source for your brain?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got it by making sure you have enough creatine.
Uh-huh.
You're basically giving your brain the fuel it needs to function at its best,
Yeah.
even when it's, adapting to that new metabolic state.
Especially when it's first adapting.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so interesting.
It is.
So it's like creatine is like a bridge helping your brain through that energy shift.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it.
Cool.
Yeah. But here's where things get even more interesting.
Hmm.
The benefits of creatine, they go way beyond just athletic performance and low-carb diets.
Really?
Oh, yeah. The research you sent, it highlighted its potential impact on all sorts of health aspects.
Okay, I'm ready for this. Tell me more.
Let's dive in.
So like what other health benefits are we even talking about?
Well, for starters, a lot of studies have shown that creatine can really improve cognitive function.
Really?
And not just in people on those low-carb diets.
Oh, okay.
We're talking about better memory, better focus,
Yeah.
and it can even reduce mental fatigue.
So it's like a brain booster for everyone.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hmm.
And it makes sense when you think about it.
Yeah.
Creatine is crucial for keeping those energy levels up in our brain cells.
So it's like giving our brains the resources they need.
Exactly, to perform at their best. And this is important for people of all ages and lifestyles.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's pretty amazing. The research also talked about creatine having anti-aging properties.
Oh, yeah.
What's the science behind that?
It's really fascinating. Creatine has anti-inflammatory properties,
Okay.
which are great for muscle recovery after you exercise.
Yeah.
But get this, these same properties might also protect against age-related cognitive decline
Oh, wow.
and even muscle loss.
So it's not just about feeling good right now. It's about keeping your brain and body healthy
Like,
later on in life.
think of it as, a way to proactively age healthily,
Right.
supporting both your physical and cognitive vitality as you get older.
I like that a lot. That's incredible. The research even mentions some studies suggesting that creatine could be helpful for people with certain neurological conditions,
Right.
like Parkinson's disease.
Yes, in conditions like Parkinson's, there's often a disruption in the brain's energy production.
Oh, okay.
This can lead to, you know, tremors, stiffness, difficulty with movement.
Right.
And the research suggests that creatine, by boosting that ATP production, could help compensate for those disruptions and improve those symptoms.
So it's like providing a backup energy source for the brain to work better,
Exactly. You got it.
even with those challenges.
Even with those challenges, and while more research is definitely needed,
Of course.
the potential of creatine in this area is really exciting.
Yeah, it really is. It's amazing to think that just taking a supplement could help people so much.
No, it's pretty powerful stuff.
So with all these benefits, how can someone actually start using creatine?
Well, the most common and well-researched form is creatine monohydrate.
Okay.
You can find it pretty much anywhere it's affordable,
Mm.
and it's been proven to be effective.
And what about the dosage? How much should people take?
A typical approach involves something called a loading phase,
Okay.
where you take a bit more for like a week
Mm-hmm.
to quickly increase those creatine levels in your muscles.
Got it.
And after that, you just switch to a lower daily maintenance dose.
And when's the best time to take it?
While the exact timing isn't super important, many experts recommend taking it after your workout,
Oh, okay.
with a meal that has carbs and protein.
To help with absorption.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, that makes sense. And what about food sources? I remember reading about some good ones in the research.
Oh yeah, you're right. Foods like beef, pork, and salmon are naturally high in creatine.
Okay.
But even if you eat a lot of these foods,
Yeah.
it's still hard to reach those optimal creatine levels,
Hmm.
especially if you really want to maximize those benefits.
Right.
That's where supplementation comes in.
But getting a boost.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. And it's safe for most people, right?
Generally, yes.
Yeah.
It's very well tolerated. But as always, it's best to talk to your doctor before you start any new supplement,
Of course.
especially if you have any health conditions or you're taking medication.
Right. That makes sense. So it sounds like creatine is something that could benefit a lot of people,
Oh, yeah.
no matter how old they are or what their fitness level is.
Absolutely. From athletes to people who just want to support their brain health and maybe even slow down. Aging creatine has so many applications.
Yeah. Wow. This deep dive has been amazing.
I know.
I used to think creatine was just for building muscle.
I know. It's so much more than that.
But now I see that it's like a powerful tool for your overall health and well-being.
It really is. And it's awesome to learn about the science behind these natural compounds and how we can use them to live healthier lives.
Absolutely. Speaking of healthy lifestyles, the research also mentioned that creatine might be especially helpful for vegetarians and vegans.
It is. Since creatine is mainly found in animal products,
Right.
people who follow plant-based diets often have lower creatine levels than those who eat meat regularly.
So taking a creatine supplement could help them get those benefits too.
Exactly. It helps to even things out and gives their bodies the resources they might not be getting from their diet alone.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, I know we've covered a lot already,
We have.
but there was one more thing in the research that I wanted to talk about.
Okay, what is it?
It said that our bodies naturally produce less creatine as we age.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And it made me wonder if that's connected at all to some of the, age-related changes we see
Oh, yeah.
in muscle mass strength and even cognitive function.
It's a really interesting connection, isn't it?
Mhm.
As we get older, our bodies, they just get worse at producing and holding on to creatine.
Right.
And that gradual decrease,
Hmm.
it could definitely be a factor in those age-related declines we see.
So supplementing with creatine could actually help fight back against some of those effects?
It could.
Almost like topping up what we naturally lose over time?
Yeah, that's exactly what researchers are looking into right now. The idea is that by keeping those creatine levels up through supplementation,
Yeah.
we might be able to slow down or even reverse some of those negative things that happen as we age.
Both physically and mentally.
Exactly.
That's incredible. It's like we can help our bodies stay younger for longer.
In a way,
Yeah.
yeah. And while more research is definitely needed to really see those long-term effects,
Of course.
the early results are looking pretty promising.
I like the sound of that. Okay, so we've learned a lot today.
We
We
have.
started by thinking of creatine as just a muscle-building supplement,
Right.
and now we've discovered all these potential benefits from brain health to healthy aging, and even its importance for people with, specific dietary needs.
Yeah, it's been quite the journey.
It really has, and it just goes to show that there's always something new to learn, even about things we think we already know.
Absolutely.
Well said. Before we wrap up, is there anything else from the research that stood out to you? Anything you want to leave our listeners with?
You know, I think the biggest takeaway here is that creatine is something that a lot of people should consider.
Yeah.
It's not just for those gym rats or
Wow.
bodybuilders.
Right.
And the benefits, they go way beyond the gym.
I completely agree. It's for anyone who wants to improve their overall health and well-being, both now and as they get older.
Exactly. And of course, like we mentioned, it's always a good idea to talk to your doctor
Of course.
before starting any new supplement.
Always.
But I do encourage everyone to keep an open mind about creatine and, how it could potentially benefit their health journey.
I love that that's a great note to end on. Thanks for joining me for this deep dive into the world of creatine.
Yeah, this was fun.
I hope you learned a lot and maybe even feel inspired to learn even more.
Me too.
And to our listeners out there, keep exploring, keep learning, and never stop asking those questions. Until next time, keep diving deep.